Greetings, everybody. We're Daf Yomi and the Rif on this day that will live in infamy, Tuesday, the 21st of January, 2020, when our president is being subjected to this kangaroo court trial, a sham trial of impeachment. I was going to delay doing this presentation for later in the day, but I felt I have to start. I have to learn some Torah, with you in public to be a merit for our president who's being subjected to such horrible treatment. We have to stand by this president not only because he stands up for religious values, not because he's a great friend of Israel and the Jewish people in general, but also because he's simply being treated unfairly. No president should be treated this way. Everything they were looking for something to impeach him for since the time he got elected, and they have been nitpicking him in a way that would be unfair to any individual. No one, certainly not Barack Obama, would have been able to stand up to this scrutiny and nitpicking. No human being can. But even after all the nitpicking, they only have a attempted crime, even by their own admission. As he got caught before was that the aid went through on time. The whole thing is ridiculous, even by their own definitions. They only have a attempted crime, right? Everything made the deadline. It is so stupid. It is so silly. And here they're controlling the narrative in such a terrible way that if Donald Trump is not convicted, then it's a cover up. Even if the trial doesn't run by their guidelines, it's a cover up, as if they have all the truth by them. And if you don't think the way they think, and you don't handle things the way they handle it, and you don't rule the way they want you to rule, it's all a cover up. I hope the American people see through the big, lying Adam Schiff, lying Jerry Nadler, lying Nancy Pelosi, and all their accomplices. A bunch of liars, a total disgrace to the American people, and a disgrace to the Jewish people, sadly. All right, so may our learning, we may not be able to do the whole Daf and Riff right now, but we'll get a running start because I feel as proceedings, these sham proceedings are starting, we should learn some Torah, and then may the source of our learning also stand by him because, A, he is innocent. At least there's innocent until proven guilty, and there's no reason why we should not. You should always hope for someone's innocent. That's the right thing to do, let alone that he probably really is innocent by all accounts, because the aid went through to the Ukraine on time. But of course, what's closest to our heart is that this great president is fighting for our religious liberties and our gun rights, and a great friend of the state of Israel and the Jewish people. We're at the Mishnah at the bottom of 13b in the Rif pages. I think we'll do half now and half later, just to get started. So if he's in the middle of davening and he realized, hey, he's a Baal Keri. Now again, this Mishnah is going according to when the Edict of Ezra was in full effect and enforced, like we learned yesterday, that it has been annulled either totally or at least partially, like we learned yesterday. Please refer to yesterday's yesterday's session. But this Mishnah is going at the time when the Gezerah of Ezra was in full edict, the edict was in full effect, and a Baal Keri, someone who had an emission of seed, cannot is not allowed to daven until he purifies himself, even if it's just with the pseudo purification of 9 carbon poured on him. But if he did not do any form of purification, he is not allowed to daven. So let's say he forgot he was a Baal Keri. He had no water to wash with. He had no mikveh to go to. Right, and he is in the middle of davening. This Kashu Baal Keri, remember, he's a Baal Keri. He had this emission of seed. Lo yafsik. He does not have to cease his davening in the middle. Rather, he should shorten it, Yered Litvo, and then go down to immerse himself in a mikveh. Right? So, excuse me, period, full stop. Rather, he should just shorten his tefillah. Chazal did not obligate him to abort davening. right? It's not like it's a bracha, but he should shorten it. He may finish, just he should shorten it. Right, Yard Litvo. Another case, a person went down to the mikvah because he needed to, right? And in the cholal, also discuss across achlo tenetzachama yalvis kas v'ikra. Right, so now if he can now get up, cover himself up, and read Shema before Netzachama. And then this is he wants to do the lechatchila, as we learned much earlier, right? It is most preferable to say Shema before sunrise, right? It's only if you miss sunrise, if you miss before sunrise, you have up to 3 hours in the day, which means 1/4 of the day. But a person should preferably, if he should try to do it before, sunrise. So now, if he has time to go down to the mikvah, get up, cover himself, and read before the sun rises, Yavis Kasviakron. That's exactly what you should do. Get out of the mikvah. Don't dawdle there. Just get out, cover yourself up, and reach Shema. Vim lav. Let's say there's no time. So here's interesting halacha. Don't say, you have 3 hours. No. Don't miss the lechatchila time. Don't miss the best time to say Shema. Rather, yiskasu my mikra, so in the mikvah, cover yourself with water, cover your nakedness with the water, and read. Now let's say it's right, the water stinks, right? And there's also waters that we use for processing, right? So these waters stink, right? So don't use smelly waters to cover yourself. Until you at least dilute it with some fresh water, right? Now these bad smelling waters, right? How far should you distance yourself from them or from excrement? So you should be able to reach Shema, Arbamos, 4 amos, which is according to Chazanish, 8 feet. Tana Rabbanan, the Rabbanan learned, Tosefta, Hoyo make it feel broad, so connect though. You are in the middle of davening and you see excrement in front of you. So what do? Walk ahead of it. So it should be behind you 4 amos. But Tanya, but we learned in the Brisa, let's start. You don't have to actually walk in front of it, so it should be to your back. You don't have to walk to the side. No, there's no contradiction, right? Well, one's talking about that if it's possible, it's best to have it behind you, right? If putting it behind you is not possible, right? So then, at least go 4 amos away to the sides, but it's best and most preferable to have it behind you. Right, that's why you don't see it, not to your left and not to your right. But if not, 4 amos to the sides is also good, right? If you cannot walk ahead of it and throw it, have it behind you. Um, right, his powerful matzah sobim kama hov chatbish power just tefila el tzarch lachzor his power makom toho. Now, if you davened and you did not check your place, you davened and then you found that there was excrement right in front of where you were davening. Your davening is not davening, and you have to repeat davening in a pure place. Right? Oh, but mind shouting lo birka mati shul mind v'choser. Right. So now let's say you're davening and you can't help yourself. You start urinating. Right. Right. You cannot. You can't hold it in. So you're so. You start your name. You have to wait until the water ceases, because while the water is actually flowing, it has, you're not allowed to say daven or say Shema in front of it. and go back to and return. That those actually words of Chazal. So the Gemara wants to go back to where Rav Chizda Rav Chad Amar Chazal Rosh. Rav Chizda and Rav Amun say go back to the beginning of Shmona Esrei. Chad Omer Lechozer Lemakom Shmona. No, it's enough to go back to the place where you stopped davening because you were urinating. That's how. So the Rif brings the psak of Haigon. We rule like the one says you don't have to start Shemona Esrei over again. You just go back to the place where you stopped davening. Right, Vimshak de Ligmar's Kula Chazer LaRosh, but that's talking about that you didn't have a big break. Right, but if you had to stop to the point that you had to finish, or that you could have, the break was so. Let's say it takes you, as example, it takes you 5 minutes to say Shemona Esrei from beginning to end, and you had a 5 minute break because of this urination. So because of this long break, right? Because perhaps that's when you have to go back to the beginning. But if you had the break that you had to take because you were urinating was less than the time that it would take you to say Shemona Esrei from beginning to end, so then go back to where you stopped davening, where you interrupted davening, because you were urinating. But if the break took you long enough to say the whole Shema Esrei from beginning to end, that's called that you've disrupted your Shema Esrei, and you have to go back to the very beginning. Kasim Megillah, the Rif brings in other Gemaras from other places that cross reference, and so now it brings from Maseches Megillah, Parak B'Neir, the fourth parak over there, right? Tani Tana Kamed Rav Nachman saw a man read out. He used to read out Chazals in front of Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak said as follows: Hamispal tzach shiarchik daramis umashtin, va'amashtin marchik abamos umispal. Right? If you are davening and you need to urinate, go 4 amos away and urinate. Don't urinate exactly where you were davening. Right? And after that, after urinate, then distance it further 4 amos and daven. Rav Nachman Bishul Mashtin Marchik Amos Umispalo. The Tanka Rachman Minatzoa Arba Amos Ela Mispal Marchik Amos Umashtin Ihachi Kachino Kulu Shvili Denarda. Right? So we say this. I get it that you got to, after you urinate, move 4 amos to daven elsewhere because let's say we'll treat urine, give it the same halacha as excrement or any dirty water. We said before you have to go 4 amos away and daven. I get that. Why is it that you have to walk 4 amos away from where you were davening to urinate? Why? Because you were davening there, the land is holy? If that's the case, then all the roads in Narda are holy because people have always davened there. Over time, everyone's davening. What do you mean? Why do you have to walk 4 amos away from where you're davening? Why is the ground holy, as it were? Because if it's holy because you davened there, and all the roads of Narda are now holy. No one could urinate anywhere in the streets of Narda, right? So rather, right. So the Gemara revises and says not because as if the ground beneath your feet became holy that you have to walk away 4 amos. The Gemara therefore says to revise it. Tani Yishek, Lomar Tani Yarchik Yishek. Right. So now it means like this: you don't literally walk 4 amos away, but rather wait the amount of time that it takes, right? To walk 4 amos and then urinate, right? Or rather like this, right? So it doesn't literally mean to distance yourself by 4 amos, but rather it means wait the amount of time that it takes to walk 4 amos. It's not a second or two. If it's like 8 feet, so let's take 2 seconds, wait and then urinate. So that's how you want to revise it. At this point, the way it reads in the Gemara, according to the Rif, at this point, we think that we're revising, distancing in both cases to mean, don't not to literally distance yourself, but rather wait the amount of time it would take to walk arba amos and then urinate, wait the amount of time it'll take to walk arba amos and resume your davening, right? So the Gemara now analyzes that whether that revision, as we have just said, it makes sense, and says like this. V'amrin bishlam amashtin yishe k'dei hiluch harvas and we should need tzaitzes. It was polished k'dei hiluch harvas v'akach yashin my timer, right? Right. So it says, I understand why you have to wait 4 amos, the amount that it takes to walk 4 amos after you urinate, because there's still drops coming out. There's still drops. There's still drops coming out. They're dribbling. Okay. So you wait, an extra 2 seconds, and then it's dry. No more drops are coming out of you. Right? Fine. That makes sense. Why do you have to wait 4 amos before you actually urinate? Right? So says the Gemara. Well, I'll tell you why it makes sense to wait 4 amos before you release your urine. Right? So my down up to a arba amos. That time, you are you're davening. That amount of time, that minimum amount of time. So let's say, if you're talking about people who knew their davening by heart very, very well, and your mouth is kind of on like on automatic pilot, right? So you stop, and your lips keep on moving for another second or two, mouthing the words of tefillah. You don't stop, so wait, and so you're sure that your lips aren't moving and you're not saying any words of tefillah by rote, right? And that way you could be sure that when your urine is being released, you are not have no words of tefillah in your mouth. Because there's a person rattles, and you may continue rattling for an extra second or two. So as a countermeasure for that problem, that you shouldn't be saying words of tefillah as you're urinating, so when you become conscious of the fact that you must urinate, don't release immediately, because you may be still rattling words of tefillah. Rather, as soon as you become conscious, you will actively stop davening and make sure that you've stopped davening and there's no words of tefillah in your mouth, and then you will release your urine. Right. So I say, sure, there's not going to be, your lips not going to be moving at the time that the urine is being released. I will do a little bit more, and we will resume later in the day. Like I said, I felt compelled to get started. Should be a merit for our president, subjected to horrendous, terrible treatment from the Democrats. Most Rishoyim Yurkum. Rabban learned, Tosefta Tzachak Kavav Al Yispal. If you need to make, to excrete, don't daven. Yispal Tzachak. But if you daven anyway, you held it in and you daven, your tefillah is disgusting, right? Amar Rav Zvid, Vitem Rav Yehuda, so now Rav Zvid said, and some say it was Rav Yehuda that said, Lashon Shen Yochel Amod Al Atzmo. Al Yochel Amod Atzmo Mutter. So, well, that which we said, that's disgusting, you daven, that told you about that you really couldn't hold it in for an extended period. But if you could hold it in for an extended period, it is permissible to daven. Right? So the question is, how long is the extended period you have to be able to hold it in for? Right? Vad kama amrav sheshes ad parsa, up to a parsa, which is a substantial amount of time. I think it's like 72 minutes worth of walking. But you ask your local Orthodox rabbi, but it's a substantial time, right? But that's how long you have to be able to hold it in. That for me, permissible for you to daven, with holding it in. That should be it's not urgent. You could hold it in. I think it's like 72 minutes. Ask your local Orthodox. Right now, also we have another Bryce that says if you need to excrete, don't daven. It says you should prepare yourself before your Lord Israel. You have to come well prepared. Come on, clean. Well, that's also the source to be well groomed and every. You don't come into davening unprepared. Prepared means prepared in body and in dress and et cetera, et cetera. Uksiv in his other passage, right? Also, watch your legs when you walk into the house of the Lord. Your legs, legs is from where the excrement and urine come from, that area, and that's how indeed the Amoraim explained on Ravasi, V'ter Rav Chanina bar Papa, that and said Ravasi, and some say it was Rav Chanina, the son of Papa, that said, regarding this pasuk, watch your legs when you go to Beis Elokim. If you want to go to Shato Med, but watch your openings, which are between your legs, openings to the street at the time that you are davening before Hashem. All right, so once we discuss this, we're going to bring other halachas that have to do with, needing to excrete and holding it in. Garcia Parak Elu Alokit, so the Rif brings from Gemara in the third parak of Makkos. Rav Achai, said Rav Achai, Mishanakov Kavar Mishum Bat Shachs Seichem. Right? A person who, let's say you're not davening, but still you're holding it in. You have you need to excrete, but you're holding it in because whatever you want to, you don't want to miss something. You want to, there's some spectacle you want to see, or there's you know, in the middle of this, middle of that, even if you're not davening, to hold in excrement instead of, taking the first opportunity to release it, you transgress the Isser of Baal Shazah. Do not make yourself disgusting. This generally is applied to, not eating bugs. But should not eat shkotzim, right? But this negative point applies. Literally, do not do disgusting stuff like hold it in when you need to make. And is of course talking that you are able to make. You have a place to go. Not talking about that you don't have a reasonable place to excrete. So when you have any place that's reasonable to excrete, you go. Right, Amra, and if you had a reasonable place and you don't, use it, make use of it, right? And you have to go. You transgressing that command. Amra Bibi Barabai, Haiman Shasbikana, Lumna Cover Mishum Balta Shatsu. A person who actually drinks out of the horn of a doctor, right? Now, of course, it's talking about that they used to use this horn, right, to draw blood. Right? So, of course, maybe sharp on one end, look like a horn. Sharp on one end, a little bit wide on the other, and that's stick it into a person and let the blood flow out. All right. So you take this horn that was used for bloodletting, right? Even if you washed it out, okay. Let's say you washed it out, even, but it is used for letting blood, and you use it now, to sip soda, right? So like you pour soda in, one end, you sip it out the other, right? Yeah, use it like a straw, right? That is called to be disgusting. You're also transgressing the command. That is disgusting. If this thing is meant for bloodletting and that's what it was used for, it is disgusting to use it for drinking. Even if you washed out any, if you washed out the blood, makes no difference. Okay, we're going to stop here for today. Not for today. I mean, for now. And tune in later today for the other half of this segment. Right? How will you know when we will be on the air? Subscribe to the channel. You subscribe to the channel, right? You will always get notifications of when we are on the air. Okay, everyone, let's have a good day, and let us all hope that Hashem, will do justice for our president and for all those who are unjustly persecuted and accused of crimes or accused of anything, and in a manner where they're getting any type of unjust treatment, right? Undue process, right? And punishments that do not fit the alleged crime. Okay, let's hear only good news.